Yes, using yesterday's playbook on today's child. We cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we used when we created them. That's a quote by Albert Einstein. Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever it is you're joining on from. I am Amina Isma'il, and yes, it is day 5 of our 10-day series where we're talking about, everything raising children, boys in particular, and just understanding what it takes to discipline them and discipline them appropriately. Yes, how are you doing? How have all the 4 days been? How have it been? It has been a lot for me. Yesterday was quite heavy for me, quite heavy for me, but I'm just grateful I'm able to pass on this information to you. I'm able to help us to start to see things differently. If you have any feedback, please share with us. Thank you for being able to come in. I got some feedback, for the previous days, and like thank you for reminding me to be more, to be more present with my son. And it was just we all are a people of reminders. Yes, and the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said that we are a people of reminders, and we constantly. So it's some of these things are things we know, but we constantly need to be in that place of being reminded, of remembrance. Yes, and that's why, when we say Alhamdulillah every day, when we say La Allah wa la quwwata every day, when we say Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakil, it's not like we've forgotten, but Allah wants us to be in that place where we are not complacent. We are not saying, okay, because we said it yesterday, it doesn't matter. I'm not going to say it for the next one week. There's something about doing something consistently, doing something all of the time that makes you be in that place where you're aware, that makes you to be present. So yes, if you have been here, thank you, welcome. If not, please, and if you have been here the previous, if you haven't, please catch up replay. Please share this link in your circles. Let other people come and listen. All we do is here is just to remind us of what it is that we need to do to be more present and more intentional with our boys in particular, and just more intentional people generally, basically. So today we're going to be talking about the topic using yesterday's playbook to raise today's child. You're using yesterday's playbook, yesterday's methods, yesterday's, everything, systems and tools and strategies to raise this child. So some of these things will sound familiar to you. You need to respect your elders. You need to shut up when I'm speaking to you. You have to do this because I said so. I'm your mother. I said so. So you have to do it. So children are just meant to be seen, not heard. Will you keep quiet and go inside? I have visitors. I don't want anybody coming into the sitting room. Does that sound familiar to you? So these were things that used to work on us children in a different time. In our time, it probably worked. It was a world where children are not allowed to ask questions. It was like, do as I say, not do as I do. And it was always like that. But now, you can't. We things have changed. So can we move on with the program? Basically, that's what today is about. Your child lives in this century. Your child lives in 2025, not 1980s or 1970s. And then we are parenting with tools of 1970s, 1980s, and the 90s. How do you expect it to work on today's child? I was in a session with some teachers, and I got a whole lot of insight from all of the things that some of the teachers said. And you would wonder, are we moving with the times, or we just want to stay stuck in what it is that we're familiar with? And it's like, no, you need to flog a child for the child to understand. These child are not disciplined. These children are not disciplined. These children need to be flogged for them to, just the way flogging used to reset us. Just the way flogging used to take us back to factory resetting. We need to do that to today's children. And I told them, in this age, in this time, a child that you see a lot of children now, SS1, GS3, they are already as tall as their teachers, they're already as tall as their parents. In this time, in this age, you actually want to take a stick and flog a child and flog the child all in the name of wanting to discipline that child. And you really think it will work? You really think what of the day he gets bigger than you and he grabs that stick? And I've heard stories, and he grabs that sticks and flogs you back. How would you feel? Do you believe that's the best way? So we cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we used when we created them. And trust me, even though it looked effective, when our parents were creating those discipline strategies of flogging, kneel down for 24 hours, hold what's it called, kneel down under the sun, I'll tie you to a tree, and all of those very, very crude ways. It looked like it worked, and a lot of us would say, oh, you can't see I'm very responsible now because my parents had firm hands. Number one, right, was the fact that theirs was fear-based parenting, and we are accustomed to fear-based parenting, and that's why you hardly ever see any of us that sat down and asked our parents questions and questioned, whatever it is that they were doing. But if you see today's children, they come like programmed to ask questions. They have so much information. All of the knowledge rested with our parents and our teachers, so they were like the alpha, the all in all, and that was how we saw them. With a click of a button, a child would go to Japan, a child would go to Vietnam and know what it is. There's so many things my children tell me, and I'm like, okay, this is the first time I'm hearing this. So is it that same child that you're not going to sit down and feel like you're the all in all when it comes to information concerning that child and even concerning things generally? So can you see why they okay, yeah, sorry, network, can you see me, can you hear me? So can you see why they kind of have the upper hand when it comes to, they are more at an advantage when it comes to information? So it is necessary for us to try new ways, for us to figure out new ways to teach them rather than holding on to our 1970s strategies and skills. Yes, so basically these children are born to question everything. Like the questions we never had, but because they're trying to make sense of this complex world, everything is so complex. Even with the parents, sometimes they're not helping. We're doing one thing, we're saying a different thing, and we're doing a different thing. See, these children are asking those questions, so and it doesn't mean that he's asking these questions, doesn't mean that he's being disrespectful. He's watching his mother say, oh, you need to listen to me all of the time. Yes, he's seeing this mother, say something with her own, the things that she wants them to do. She's saying telling them what they should do, and she's doing the same thing. Oh, we shouldn't eat at a particular time, and then she goes into her room with snacks, and the child opens the door and he sees the mother with snacks. Like, but you said you shouldn't eat a particular time. You said we should eat healthy. So there's a disconnect. It's called dissonance. It's called dissonance from who you really are. And our children pick on it. They see, they hear it. And so they think we're two-faced. And so they will struggle. Children rebel when there's hypocrisy, when they can smell hypocrisy. And that's why being vulnerable and being authentic is very, very key in your parenting. Being vulnerable and being authentic, letting that child know that I'm not perfect myself. I'm also a work in progress. I'm not perfect. But when you come always as the odogu of everybody, you know it all, you've heard it all, you can never be wrong. At some point, they just tune you out. They just zone out when you're speaking because they're like, okay, you're saying one thing and then you're doing a different thing. What's going on here? So we need to be a lot more vulnerable with our children. We need to be a lot more present. We need to be a lot more authentic. That fear-based parenting, it's actually very, very 1990s. No, these kids, they can't relate. Like, why do I have to be scared? Can you just tell me why? Can you explain? So and they are so forgiving when you come with the truth. Try it. You who has been always, okay, it has to be a particular way, and your child is rebelling. Can you walk up to that child and say, I'm sorry? Can you walk up to that child and say, okay, I'm also on the journey of learning? And you'll see how that child will just, okay, maybe the first few minutes, okay, mommy, what exactly is it that you're looking for? Because this is not you. You're always on your high horse, like, what exactly? But if you do it tomorrow and you do it next tomorrow, gradually the child will start to see the sincerity. So the problem is, and this, I will keep saying the word hypocrisy. I said it on the day one. I said it on day two. It will keep coming up because we became hypocritical. So we didn't necessarily build character. Yes, we did, but it wasn't. You know how something is rooted in you. It wasn't. That's why you swerve to this side when it's paying you. When it's paying you, you swerve to that side when it's paying you, and that's why you see. Even we see it everywhere with our civil service workers. When you're even running a business, you can't stand for your values. You can't stand. You stand when it pays you. A whole lot of the times, and very few people are able to stand through, even when things are difficult. You stand for the truth and you stand for what you believe in. And our children pick these things and they will question it because they're in a world where they want to understand this complexity of this world? Why are we saying one thing? Why are we doing another thing? Why are some people rich? Why are some people poor? Why is it that the rich, they don't care for the poor? You hear a lot of questions, and then you still want to come with your, high horse. It doesn't work for them. The earlier you get it, you understand it, the better for you and for every one of us, and for them too, because they see that, okay, I'm learning new ways. I'm also struggling with this, but I'm trying, I'm working on it. And so, but when you think that, okay, you know it all, you're going to breed resentment in your children. They'll actually resent you because they're like, why do you want me to do what it is that you're not practicing? Why do you want me to do the same thing that you are struggling with? So, but if you're able to say that, okay, I'm struggling with this, and it takes a lot. I don't know. For us, it was, I heard my dad apologize to us. I heard my dad say, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. So it wasn't so difficult, and it was easy. Like, you even feel humbled, that your parent, an adult, is coming to you to say, okay, I'm sorry about something. I should have known better. But so that child, it will be easier for that child to connect to what it is that you're saying than when you just, go and you're just acting like, you know it, or you've got it figured out and all of that. So this father, my mother knows best, my father knows best. This model, it fails when boys have access to endless information. I say at the click of a button, they will get, they know what it is, that they know the right thing. And so they wonder, why is it that you're forming? Why is it that you're not coming as authentically as you should? Why are you, this is double standards? Why are you saying one thing and then you're doing another thing? See, these children are growing up in a world where they are told that their voice matters except at home. Because at school, you see people championing for them. They watch, they go online, they see children their ages having YouTube channels and not just doing silly things, actually doing things that matter. And people are listening to them and they have followers. And yes, there are some channels too that actually portraying, doing things, and then everybody's still saying, yeah, where they should drag that child off that channel and speak sense to that child's head. But they're hearing outside that their voices matter, except at home. So it's only when they come home that you can't, before you say anything, your mother is like, keep quiet, you're saying it all wrong and everything. And so this old school parenting, it's not working for us, it's not working for our children. And we have to find it. See, the mismatch creates confusion. It doesn't create character, it doesn't develop their character. All it does is cause confusion in them. So when we use authoritarian methods for boys who are naturally curious, for boys who are naturally, they just want to know, they want to question everything, we're creating rebels. We're creating robots. Because remember, I told you that one of the 4 R's of discipline, they will either retreat or they rebel, or some of them even revenge. See, when they retreat is when they're like, okay, I'm a robot. You're just whatever it is you want me to do. That's what you want me to do. And you know what? These are the people that get bullied in school. These are the people that can't stand for anything. These are the people that get involved in cultism. These are the people that get, involved in different vices because they cannot stand for anything. And this started from the home. It started from the home. A lot of times, bullying starts from the home. When your child can't speak to you, when you shut down your child at every given moment, you think you're being a parent, right? You think you're being a parent that wants to correct. No, you're being a bully. Let the child air his views. Let him air his views. And then you come with guidance. So what children are looking for, if it's information, they go to Google and they get it. But they're looking for guidance from you. They're looking for patience and compassion from you. They're looking for wisdom from you, not just information. In ChatGPT, everybody has information, but now wisdom, guidance is what it is that you hold the key to. It's what it is that you hold the key to. So we need to sit down and ask ourselves that, where are we? Are we still at home using all of these old methods, all of this what's it called? I'm the father, I know best, you should never do that, and all of those things, or we are really sitting down to, because we're living in an information rich world, or we're sitting down and asking ourselves questions like, am I being authentic with this child? Am I being honest with this child? And we expect them to be honest. They will tell you that, no, but the other day you told me that I should tell someone over the phone that you were sleeping, and you were not sleeping. Can you see? So even if you're struggling, I'm not saying you have to be perfect to parent, but let them know that you're struggling too. Let them know that this is something you're trying to work on. So can we grow together? That's one of the most common phrases that we use in our home. Can we grow together? We're growing together. We're growing. I say it outside, I say it inside. I say we're growing together because I know that there are so many gaps too that I have. There's so many things I'm still trying to correct. There's some things they don't teach you in school. You can be an A student, you can be, a star student, but there are some things that you didn't teach in school. There are some things that, there are some gaps, and then as you're learning, can you please let your children know that what you're teaching them, you're also learning. It will definitely be at a higher level. It will be that you have gone ahead of them, and rightfully so, because you are the adults here. But now there's a lot. So basically, that's what it is. We cannot continue to use fear-based parenting. It doesn't work with these children. And even when you see that it is working, trust me, you're creating a child that will either revenge tomorrow or become a robot that says yes to everything. Revenge, okay, I'm going to do whatever it is that you want me to do. But the moment you turn your back, they're doing whatever it is they want to do. Is that the kind of child you want to raise? A hypocritical child, someone that doesn't understand standing for something, that doesn't understand the values, that isn't doing it because the person really believes, he's doing it because you said so. And when you're there, he will do whatever it is he wants. So can you see the dangers of using yesterday's playbook, yesterday's strategies, yesterday's model to parent today's child? So this is my call to you to say no. Let us do better. Because as always, I remind you, when we know better, we will do better. So can we learn these strategies? Can we learn the strategies that work for this 21st century child so that we do not keep doing the same thing and hurting our child in the process and not even achieving results? So yes, join our workshop because those are some of the things we'll be teaching in this workshop and we're putting you through. Help helping us see the goods that we got from our parents' generation and all of the blessings that came with and how it made us who we are, but the gaps too and what it is that we need to step up to do. And trust me, because I hear some people ask me, is it that you're not proud of your parents? Is it that you think your parents didn't do a good enough job? No, I'm not saying that. I will always be proud of what our parents did. Very intentional parents I had. People with warm hearts, very beautiful. My friends love them, my cousins, everybody, they all love and they still do love them. But they were not perfect. There were gaps. I will not be perfect. I'll make my own mistakes too. And that's why I'm exposing my children to other people that can teach them too. It's not going to be all me because I do not know everything. And they have mentors, they have guardians, they have coaches, people that they can look up to. And yes, that is what we're looking out for. Thank you so very much. So we see you on Monday. Yes, it will be Monday, or maybe I just maybe might come up tomorrow. But until we see tomorrow, Monday, whichever it will be, I'll say bye. Thank you.